know what's so fine about him, you know. I didn't, but I didn't know him at the time. And the more that I got to know him, he says that he asked God for a wife. I didn't ask God for a husband. But I'm so happy and blessed that he blessed me with a man that is a good husband, a good friend, a good lover, a good man, a good Christian, and you can depend on his word. Whatever he says that he will do it to the best of his ability, and it'll get done. So I've kind of fell in love with him over a period of time, and especially after he called my mom and she's saying, well, yeah, I guess you can go to the movies or something with you. And he didn't know, I'm sure, that both my brothers were going to be coming along. They would be about chaperone. We weren't going to be by ourselves. But at any rate, we came along, and my brother, my older brother who's still alive, Richard, really told me the other day, he said, you know, I've got to tell Leonard that he is just exactly what you needed. He said, I've watched him all over these years, and you all would make a good match. And I know that because we've lived through it. I've lived through it with him. Excuse me. There have been times, like in 1966, when I went into the hospital. The doctor said I had pneumonia at the time. And I just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And my doctor, who was the original doctor who I had, with the family doctor that we had all been going to for a while, and Leonard and some other blacks here in Houston had been invited to the White House to this 100-man march. And so Leonard and the doctor and they were preparing to go. And I wanted him to go so badly because I thought that he really had deserved to be in that group. He had been with our Democratic Party here in Houston, working diligently with Barbara Jordan, Mickey Leland, and that group of people at that time. And also Curtis Graves, who became a good friend of ours. We've gone through a whole lot of things together, but when I got sick, and then the doctor said, well, she has pneumonia, but I have a doctor that I'm leaving in charge, so everything will be okay. So Leonard decided that he would go on and go to Washington. And but during the time that between the time that he left and the time that he got there, I took a turn for the worse. The doctors were telling him that I probably wouldn't live till the next day. I even heard the nurses saying the same thing. My temperature had gone up to like over 105. They were bathing me in ice, trying to cool my body down, cool my temperature down. None of that was helping. The penicillin that they had been giving me wasn't working. So anyway, Leonard was contacted and told what the situation was, and he came right back home. It was, I thought that I I didn't think that I was that sick, but then I was delirious from all of this heat and temperature that I had. But I was so glad to see him when he got back. And he stayed with me. I was in the hospital for 2.5, almost 3 months. He stayed in the hospital with me every night. He was working for Rollins Jewelry Store at the time, one of our black jewelers who was a popular guy here at the time, and he had a couple of stores. And Leonard had been with him for a while, so he worked during the day. My mother took care of the kids, more or less, because we lived right next door to my mom and dad. And Leonard would come and spend the night, get up and go to work. These are the times that you find out that it's not just putting on or not just lustful love. This is love unlimited. And my husband has always done his best to take care of us, the family, and me especially. I'm now going through, I've had another scare a couple of years ago now. I had cancer in the right lung. But when you believe in God, believe that He can do all things, then He can do and will do exactly what you might need to be done for you at that time. I have now had at least 2 to 3 PET scans and all of that since the cancer. They don't find any trace of cancer. I had to have radiation. But then that's what God had prepared for me. So I just know, and the same thing with that and with this illness that I have now. I have hypertensive, pulmonary hypertension, which has affected my heart. And my husband has been right here with me. Might as well say 24/7, because that's what it has been. He's taken care of me. And along the way, Leonard and I have learned a lot. Whenever he was going to a class for marriage and family and counseling or coaching, I would go also. So we were learning skills and learning things that we had not been told before, had not heard before maybe, or sometimes we had heard part of it and didn't hear the rest of it. But we have gone to so many classes, so many different organizations in order to be prepared to try to help other couples. In between 88 and then 90 something, we were teaching Bible study at our church. At that time it was a different church, but it was a Baptist church. And we found out that some of these women, because most of this was a mission Bible study, and missions were for the ladies of the church. And a lot of them had problems in their marriage that they didn't really know how to handle, didn't know what to do with, didn't know who to talk to, and usually we're not talking to anybody that could give them any advice, any good advice, any biblical advice. And so we started then trying to figure out, well, what could we do to help couples. And at that time also, the divorce rate had gone crazy. I mean, there were just so many people were getting a divorce over little or nothing. They could say she batted her eyes wrong, and so they go to court and they get a divorce. And I thought that was so crazy. How could you claim that you love somebody, you get up and you go before your family, friends, and the church and vow that you're going to love them until death, and then the first time anything happens, you're ready to get out of there? That's not the way God had intended marriages to be. So we have been doing our best to get the word out that there's a better way to live. And we can show you some of the ways that are the best ways. Well, you can't say that everybody that you talk with, every couple that you speak with are Christians. It doesn't make any difference. The wisdom that we have gleaned from all of our studies and all of our reading and all of our diligent checking out comes back to some of the same things that the Bible tells us about life, about living, about relationships. Most people don't know that there's so much in the Bible about just your daily life that you're not even thinking about. So we have our organization, the Way Education and Counseling Center, has partnered with Prepare Enrich, which is a nationwide, and even different countries have the program now. They have an assessment. A lot of times, even when we have couples coming in, you don't get to the real problems that they have, because some don't want to tell you everything. Some want to hide stuff from themselves as well as you. And so you don't really get to touch on the things that really would make a difference in their married life and their relationship with each other. And the assessment that they gives you the person a better idea of who you are and who they are. And it doesn't predict that you're going to stay together forever, but it does predict some things that you should look at before you get married, and be sure that you understand that you are two different people. You come from maybe two very different backgrounds, and all of those things play a part in your current life, play a part in who you are, the way you react to certain things, and the way that you react to your husband or your wife. So we have in our way tried to be not a shining light that's hid under a basket, but a shining light that is bright enough for people to understand and want to find out more about themselves and about who God thinks they are and how God wants them to be. We have been married for all this time, and we still love each other. There's no doubt about that. And we think that we have some wisdom that we can share with others. So all I can say is that we look forward to people getting in touch with us. And we're always here to help as much as we can. Thank you.
Okay, so this is kind of offbeat what kind of talking about, which that was very good. I appreciate that. So what would be your message? What would be your message to your husband? Because y'all have been through a lot and ups and downs. What's your message to your husband about your love for him and your affection for him? You know, like if he's in that mood, he's down or something happens, and to make sure that he goes on and encourage him and lift him up. What is your message to him?
I think there's a lot of times, excuse me, Leonard might get discouraged when he thinks that he's working with a couple, and couples don't know how much energy he puts into their relationship and trying to figure out, well, how can we help this couple? And a lot of times, on the individual, because we have anger management classes and other classes that we go through with a person according to where they are and what they need. But when he gets down, I always tell him, you don't know how many people you have helped. You don't know, because everybody's not going to come back and say thank you, or if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been where I am today. Everybody's not going to do that. So I try to encourage him to let him know that he has what God has given him and nobody can take that away from him. He is very, very diligent. That's what I can say. He's very, very diligent. Every client is important to him. Every client. Like I say, people don't know how many hours they might come for that hour conversation with him. But how many hours he puts in after he's been in conversation with them, how many hours he puts in trying to figure out, well, what's the best information I can give them that's going to really help them to turn around their thinking. Because a lot of times you have been thinking one way all your life, no matter whether you're 10, 50, or 90 years old. And if nobody challenges the way you're thinking, you might go on thinking that way forever. But when things are put out and the other thing I guess is that a lot of times people are not really ready for the commitment. And that's what it takes. It takes being committed to each other, being committed to your relationship, and really being committed to God is the most important thing for us. That might not be for everybody, but it's something for them to look at. Maybe that's what you're missing. You don't know. So I always tell Leonard that he has what it takes. I don't care if you put him up against any other counselor in this family life and relationship and pre-marriage and all of those things. He has what it takes to help people. And he doesn't have to be down about that because he knows what he's talking about. He knows what God can do, number one. And he knows what God has done for him. and for us and for our family. So he has nothing to be down about. It should be all praise and hallelujah.
What's your love message to him? How much do you love this man?
I tell him almost every day that I love him. And that's not just words. And I think that he knows by now that it's not just words, because words can't even tell him how much I really love him. How I feel so very blessed to have had him in my life all this time. No words can tell that, and I can't even search for words that I can tell him how much I really love him, and I do. I love him with all my heart. I love him with all my head. I just love him. And I love him because I know he loves me also. That's important. When you have the confidence and you feel the confidence that I know he loves me, then everything is all right. I don't care what we're going through, what we might have been through. We both know that God's on our side, and that's important to both of us.
So do you think that you're spiritually connected, like those soul ties?
Yeah, if you want to say soulmate, I know this is my soulmate. I don't have to guess about it or think about it or anything, because I just feel like God blessed me when blessed both of us when we met, because we didn't have to continue that relationship. It wasn't a relationship at first. It was just meeting somebody, you know. But like I said, I just feel blessed, and that's all I can say.
So my grandfather used to always say that he's like was older than my grandmother, but he would always say, "Yeah," and she's older. She's an older woman, and you know. She's gained weight, the hair, you know, she's older. And he says, when I look at her, she still looks like that pretty young thing that I met all them years ago, 50 years ago, you know. I just wondered, like, because that's got to be something special. That's like some real stuff that a lot of people don't get a chance to experience, you know,
that's
like
true.
when you see them, do you still make my heart flutter?
Yes.
You know?
Yes,
So,
yes, all of that.
Yeah, so
Yes,
I was just
all of
wondering. So Mr. Leonard still make your heart flutter?
He still makes my heart flutter, makes my whole body flutter.
Oh, that is, that's amazing. I don't think that many people have opportunity to experience that kind of love.
I don't think so either. But you know, I feel like I was special from the very beginning. And he was too. So God just knew what I needed, because I mean, I could have, I tell him all the time, I could have got some of those knuckleheads out there, and I would have been the kind that probably, I don't know what I would have done if I had some crazy somebody that was beating me all the time or whatever. And, I couldn't have lived like that. I couldn't have lived like that. And I have, like I said, I have just been blessed that my husband has been you can't say perfect because I don't know what perfect is, but it's perfect for me, you know, and that's all it takes. It's perfect for me, and I hope I've been perfect for him.
He loves you.
Yes, I know that.
We did his interview first.
Oh,
So we love him some you. So is it anything else that you want to talk about today? Because he said that we probably have to do, we're doing this, but then he was talking about doing a historical part of it, that we might have to do more than one shot. I mean, we don't want you to get exhausted. Is there anything else? Where did he go at anyway?
Mr. Leonard.
Mr. Leonard,
Yes, ma'am.
anything else you want to do today while we're here? Or do you want her to take a break, or want to take a break and want me to come back? How you want to do
I
it?
think that's the best thing, so she can get some rest.
Yeah, she talked a lot. You heard her talk about you over there.
I did.
Look at him. He know. Look at him. He over there listening.
I sure am.
And just smiling, baby. Hey.
I'm so grateful.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Look how many times we have tried to get other couples to understand it takes work to have a good marriage.
Yeah.
And it takes both parties to do it. Okay, and one can't do it by themselves. Okay, and so again, for 50 years we've been saying, let us help you. You know, we've seen it, we've studied, we've worked hard to learn all these things, and again, that's one of the reasons that I think our relationship has done what it has. Was because a lot of the, and Florence alluded to it, a lot of the training we got it together. Okay, so as an example, when we went, and both of us have been certified in anger